We're okay. Okay, Environmental Planning Commission meeting called to order. Today is May 21st. It is 7:03 p.m. And where we get? May we have someone lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, now may we have roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioner Sherman,
Here.
Commissioner Khan,
Yeah.
Commissioner Langley,
Here.
Vice Chair Wright-Schur,
Here.
and Chair Henderson.
Present. Item number 4 is approval of minutes of the May 7th meeting. Do we have a motion?
I so move that we adopt the minutes of the May 7th, 2024 meeting of the Planning Commission.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Langley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wright-Schur,
Yes.
Commissioner Khan, Commissioner Sherman,
Yes.
and Chair Henderson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item number 4, oral communications.
This is a time where the public may address the Planning Commission on items that are not on the agenda, but within the Planning Commission's jurisdiction. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Is anyone here wishing to speak? Okay, at this time, no member of the public wish to speak to the Planning Commission.
Okay, thank you. Item 6A is environmental assessment 16-23, conditional use permit 9-23, site plan review 523, and variance 1-23. There's a request for conditional use permit for site review in ordinance of section 1846-030C-8 and 1844-0-1 regarding municipal law to allow construction of a new public utilities facility by the County of Los Angeles Sanitation District, which includes a construction of a 4,000 square foot building with a height of 35 feet located in the general commercial C3 zone within the city, and the variance requests the minimum landscape setback to increase the fence height within the front yard setback and the variance of the rooftop equipment screening.
Chair and members of the commission, I'm going to step down from this item. I'm within a certain distance that creates a conflict where I live, and so Community Development Manager Amanda Cunha will be presenting this item and leading the discussion.
Thank you, sir.
So good evening, Chair Henderson and members of the Planning Commission. Tonight I will be presenting on agenda item number 6A for the listed entitlements. To begin, the property is located on the southern western area of the city at a site with various addresses, including 1919, 1923, and 1931 West Artesia Boulevard. The map here shows the zoning map, and outlined is the subject project property. As you can see, the site is located in the city's C3, that's the General Commercial Zoning District, and is surrounded by the same zoning designations on the north, east, and west. It should be noted that on the south end of adjacent to the property is our West Artesia Boulevard, which falls under the jurisdiction of the City of Torrance. So as mentioned, tonight is a request for a new facility located at the subject site. However, there is an existing facility at that location located at 1919, operated by the Los Angeles County's Sanitation District. This photo here shows the existing facility located again at 1919. This is an aerial that shows the existing plant. There's two plants located on the site, known as the west and the east plant. So again, the proposal tonight is for a new facility located just west of the property of the current location of the existing facility, because due to the continuous need for the operations of the facility, the proposed upgrades would need to be located nearby. So 1931 and 1923 are the locations for the new facility. So as mentioned, the applicant's request is for a conditional use permit, number 9-23, to allow for the relocation of the public utility facility by LA County Sanitation District within the C3 zone. And this is being brought before you because pursuant to the Gardena Municipal Code, a conditional use permit is required for any public utility structure and installation in any zoning district. So to go into the details of the proposal, the new facility will include the construction of a 4,000 square foot building with a height of 35 feet. The Gardena pumping plant, the existing site, and the proposed facility will continue to operate and service not only Gardena but surrounding jurisdictions within and surrounding to Gardena. As mentioned, because the operations cannot cease, it's the vital infrastructure to the city and to surrounding areas. The conditional use permit is for a new location, so that's what triggers the conditional use permit requirements. And as mentioned, at the new location adjacent to the existing site. As part of the request is also for a site plan review, again, for review of the proposed development. In accordance with Gardena Municipal Code, anytime there's a request for a discretionary permit, so like a conditional use permit that involves new development, City Municipal Code calls for a site plan review to be reviewed and presented before the commission. And this is the proposed site plan for the new facility. An outline here is the existing facility to the east of the site, but the new location would be just west of the two parcels to the existing facility, with the 4,000 square foot, 35 foot high building outlined here in red. There'd be two access points off of Artesia Boulevard, and surrounding equipment will be located throughout the site. There is area for off-street parking and for maintenance vehicles. Shown here are the proposed elevations for the new facility, the east and west elevations of the site, with the proposed brick material and colors located on the right. As part of the proposal, there is for a new perimeter fencing. With details we'll go into in just a bit in regards to the variance request, but the applicants are proposing for an 8-foot high fence along the front perimeter line that will be included with wrought iron and and integrated with brick material that will match the structure approximately every 8 feet or between the vehicle gates. So as part of the project request, staff reviewed the request for conditional use permit and site plan review and found that the project met the minimum requirements for approval, including that the use is desirable for the development of the community. Obviously, this would be a benefit to the area, providing better services throughout. The development is consistent with the intent and purpose of the city's general plan. An environmental document has been prepared and findings were made, and we'll go into that further in the discussion. However, as noted later on, the site for the intended use is adequate in size and shape and does accommodate such use in meeting all the minimum development standards, except for those obviously requested under the variance tonight. So I'll go into that. So again, noting that all the other minimum development standards are being met, so setback height. These requests under the variance number 1-23 are the three requests, one being for minimum landscape setback requirements, the other for an increase in the fencing height within the front yard setback, and lastly for variance on the rooftop equipment and screening. So the first is the landscaping along the street frontage. Gardena Municipal Code requires a minimum of 10-foot landscape perimeter to be provided along all street frontages for any commercial or industrial property. This property is in the commercial zone, so there would be a minimum requirement for a 10-foot setback on the site dedicated to landscaping. It should be noted that the building itself does meet this minimum setback requirement of 10 feet. It exceeds it. It's set back roughly 20 feet from the front property line. But to adhere to minimum setback requirements for this to be dedicated to landscaping would be infeasible for the site, as it wouldn't meet the minimum turning radius requirements. And because the facility needs to be located at a location adjacent to the existing one, this is the only site, and so it's physically restrained to meet this minimum landscape requirement. Similarly, the Gardena Municipal Code requires that in the front yard setback, a minimum of 3.5 feet is the maximum height for any fencing wall or hedge. To securely enclose the equipment in the facility, the applicants are proposing to have an 8-foot high fence, the one shown in previous slides, along the front property line, which will have pedestrian gates and as well as for vehicle gates. And lastly, the request for variance for from the city's minimum requirement for rooftop equipment screening. Gardena Municipal Code requires that all equipment, mechanical, plumbing, heating, cooling on the roof or on the ground shall be incorporated into the building or be screened on all 4 sides with solid material, so that no part of the equipment is above the enclosure or screening. The equipment on top of the proposed building stands 76 inches off the roof top, but the parapet reaches at 46 inches. So obviously it doesn't reach all the way up to the top of the equipment, but the equipment is set back from public right-of-ways to not be visible from those areas. And the reasoning is for the parapet at that size is to meet fire code requirements. So those are the entitlements being requested tonight. As included in staff's report, under the environmental consideration, LA County Sanitation District adopted an initial study and then a mitigated negative declaration in June of 2019, along with a list of mitigation measures that were listed in a reporting program that was adopted by the county in 2019. And in March of 2023, an addendum was prepared for projects, for changes to the project, which includes the project as it's being proposed tonight. And under that, those environmental documents, the city is considered the responsible agency. And so as the responsible agency, the city is required only to certify that it reviewed and considered the M&D for the project. And as shown in staff's report, staff found that the CEQA document that was prepared for the project was adequate. Tonight's meeting is a public hearing that was duly noticed in the Gardena Valley News and mailed to owners and occupants within a 300-foot radius of the site. To date, there has been no comments received by staff. So the commission is being asked tonight is to consider the request for the entitlements, which include a conditional use permit, site plan review, and the variance request. In addition, under the adoption of the resolution that has been prepared, we'll certify that the commission reviewed and considered the M&D and the addendum prepared for the project. Staff is available for any comments. Representative from LA County Sanitation District is also here.
Okay, thank you. Excuse me. Any questions for staff?
Could you put the building, the side view of the building back up on the screen? So it's basically just a block building.
Yes, it's a brick building. They have various colors. It's hard to see in here, but you could see that the darker one. I want to see if I cut off the other part of the legend here, but the darker colors on the elevations are the top portion of that brick. The lighter one, this slightly lighter gray, would be the middle, and then the whiter one, it would be the last block here. But yes, a brick building.
With no, there's nothing to soothe it down because of the turning radius, nothing off the, there's no landscaping. It's just boom, all of a sudden you hit a 35-foot building.
Yeah, there is different variations in colors. It is per the city's code if it was a block wall, it'd be a material, a decorative type of material. But there are variations in at least in the colors, and the fencing along the property line will match and be consistent with that.
Any other questions?
Will it be any improvement of the existing one too?
So the existing one will remain until this new facility is constructed, and then it will be removed because it will be replaced in that way.
Well, this time, we'd like to hear from the applicant, please.
Hi, so good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to speak today on behalf of Los Angeles County Sanitation Districts, number 2, the applicant tonight. My name is Nan Harold, and I'm a project engineer working for the sanitation districts. As you may know, the sanitation districts serves the wastewater and solid waste needs of millions of residents in Los Angeles County, including the residents of the city of Gardena. So this project that we're asking for, this larger pumping plant, will replace the 2 smaller pumping plants in order to provide increased reliability and to make sure that the sewer system continues to function as designed. Because as we all know, if you're not aware the sewer is there, that is the optimal ideal condition, and that's what we're trying to ensure through this process. So we are providing much larger pumping capacity in order to maintain and even increase somewhat the amount of sewage flow and the reliability of the system. So it provides more redundancy for the sewage that will be pumped through this system. Additionally, I would like to note that the new building does improve on the aesthetics, in our opinion, of the existing pumping plants by incorporating additional decorative fencing at the front, and also by providing, as Amanda said, some variation in the CMU color. Granted, it is a large box, but it is a prettier box than the smaller boxes that are there right now. Yeah, so on behalf of the Los Angeles County Sanitation Districts, I do hope that you will approve this critical infrastructure project. Do you have any questions for me?
The sewer lines are running down Artesia. Then they should go over to the pumping plant. They make a right angle into the pumping plant. So you're going to have to tear up a lot of Artesia Boulevard to move the pipes over to the new plant? Yes?
Correct. Well, so this new pumping plant is directly adjacent to the
Right.
existing pumping plants. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in a bypass. So again, we're keeping this all operational. So a new bypass will be installed in the sewer to route it to the new system. And then typically how our construction works is we keep this sewage going to the existing pumping plant. Once the bypass is done and the new plant is operational, you turn some valves and then it can start going to the new pumping plant.
But most of that will take place on Artesia Boulevard?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of the bypass will be in Artesia Boulevard. And then if we could go back to the site plan, there's also some wet wells and an additional bypass vault that's located within the site itself. Yeah, so that bypass vault, it's that little rectangle in the lower left-hand corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Approximately how long will this take?
Construction is anticipated to take about 2 years. Yeah, a lot of it will be taking place within Artesia Boulevard, and we'll be going to City of Torrance for those permits. For the portion that's within
So
City
you
of
can't
Torrance.
drive on Artesia Boulevard for 2 years?
Well, there will be traffic control provided as part of. It's a good question. Yeah, there will be traffic control provided as one of the mitigation measures in the M&D. Yeah, typically, I don't think that we close more than one lane at a time. I realize that the few times I've come out here, Artesia Boulevard can be pretty gnarly. But is that understating it? Yeah.
With the construction plans, is it possible to do the construction in the evening times? I mean, can we bring up the map? Because I'm lost on Gramercy. Gramercy is, I'm drawing a blank on where Gramercy in the city is. North of, is east of Van Ness?
It's east of it's halfway between Western and Van Ness.
Okay.
It's the halfway point, and it's a city line, actually. On one side, it's Torrance. On one side, it's Gardena. There's Gramercy.
Gramercy is closer to Western.
Oh, nice job.
Okay.
Hope they got that on YouTube.
Yeah, so I'm on Artesia facing east. So Western is down over here. This is Gramercy down here, and this is the city's borderline between the city of Gardena and the city of Torrance. So on the right is the city of Gardena, on the left is the city of Torrance,
Yes.
and this is Gramercy, going down Gramercy. So I'm gonna. If I keep going further, I'll hit Crenshaw Lumber on the right.
You're going to go past
Yeah.
HIC.
Yeah. Yeah.
So could it be possible to eliminate I mean, because once you start, digging up the street, there's really nothing you're gonna be able to do for traffic there. But as far as the flow, could it be done, some of this be done in the evening time? Because the area outside of, cutting and digging isn't housing. So we're not going to have very much noise. So could it be that we could do some of that to eliminate the traffic congestion on?
There is some residential just
Yeah.
west. So I mean, Greg's within 100 or 1,000 feet. That's why he can be.
Sorry, Greg.
Where's your house, Greg?
That's all good. No. But
Yeah, you know, just
there is some and what I'll say in regards to construction, the city, I can't speak to the city of Torrance where most of the the impacts will be, but for the city of Gardena, there are construction hours that are allowed, so no other types of construction can happen past those times, and so in the evening times construction would not be permitted per Gardena's municipal code. Again, it would be to the city of Torrance, but as mentioned, it is part of the mitigation measures of their CEQA document that they prepare a traffic management plan and pass that through with the city of Torrance.
What size pipes are you going to be connecting to? How big are they?
I don't recall off the top of my head, unfortunately.
Okay. I mean, 1 million gallons per day?
It was 8 million gallons
8
per
million
day, so
gallons
it's
per day.
significant. Yeah.
I'm going, that's got to be a big pipe.
Yeah.
Holding this over our heads because if the sewer backs up, we're all in trouble. So at this
so after the project is completed, given the variances of the setback with the landscape, what type of equipment is going to be in and out? Because it's going to be a pumping plant. So
It's going to be very minimal traffic in
Okay.
and out once it's operational.
okay,
So maybe 2 trucks at most from what I talk to people about. So maybe like 1 delivery a day, very minimal traffic coming in. I would have to confirm with what we put in the M&D as a worst case scenario, but it would be minimal. Yeah, like maybe a couple workers a week at most.
So is that the area that's covered by this pumping station, basically?
Yeah, so everything within that yellow area is what's flowing to the pumping station.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is basically all of Gardena, and again, Gardena's boundary line ends right here on Vermont, but partial of City of LA. This is county up here, also county and City of Hawthorne.
This goes all the way up to the 105 freeway, if that's what it is at the top. It's huge.
Yeah, I think it was approximately 30,000 homes within that area.
so our existing pumping plant is handling this now,
Yes.
and with the influx of all of the new everything that I anticipate that we're going to need this and another one.
I mean, yeah, 30,000 homes
Yeah.
right now. You know, we've seen a lot of housing projects come in through the city, and we also have our housing plan to, that shows that, more housing growth within the city
Yes.
is to come. And so, yes, they would all be serviced by this plant.
Understood. Any more questions for the applicant?
It's just, you're just going to cut off one lane of traffic while you're doing the construction, or because it's 3 right now, and it gets crowded during rush hour and midday. So you're just going to cut off 1 lane, and there will be no parking at that time during construction?
So typically, we haven't prepared the traffic control plan yet. Typically, we try to minimize impacts, so we do try to limit it to 1 lane as much as possible.
And the businesses to the west of where you're going to do this, because the east is a parking, I think it's a holding place for a auto repair shop, right? And to the west, you've got several businesses that come in off of Artesia right there.
Right.
Will they be, how your parking plan will help, you'll work with them on that, or?
We can certainly consider that. Again, we don't have the traffic control plan prepared yet. But yeah, we are definitely willing to work with residents and businesses.
questions? Jules? Well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, at this time, I'll open the public hearing, and if anybody would like to speak on this. Well, there's no one here, so we can close the public hearings and we can discuss amongst ourselves. We want to discuss. I think, hey, it's a lot of sewage. It's a lot of sewage. It's a lot. Exactly, you know exactly what that is. But so I've actually seen this in stages on the north side of Gardena. So when they built the Target and everything up there in Hawthorne, they increased the drainage line. And I think now in our complex, in our community right there, with our new project that's going up on Crenshaw, they have now started, they're going to replace more sewage lines there to help flow. Because I do remember before then, our flow was really bad, especially in the rainy season. So streets flooded and all. So now I think, outside it being, 2 years of this project, it's just something that's just going to be needed. So that's my 2 cents to it. So
I don't think that the sewage is the same as the runoff, the street runoff, is it? No, it doesn't go through. I didn't think so. So it's just sewage.
well, just it is, but just so we've approved close to, in a couple of years, close to 1,100 new housing.
Right.
So with that, that's a lot of flushing. That's a lot of that's a lot of movement. So, look, it's just we'll take the good with the bad. I mean, I'll say, my take will take the good with the bad, as it be. But so,
Yeah.
well, do we have a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion so that we do not see any of this, smell any of it, or have any issues with it. As she said at the very beginning, if you don't know about us, we're fine. That's the best way to keep it going. So I move to adopt resolution number PC 13-24, approving conditional use permit number 9-23, site plan review number 5-23, and variance number 1-23, and certifying that the commission reviewed and considered the MND/addendum prepared for the project.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Langley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wright-Schur,
Yes.
Commissioner Sherman,
Yes.
Commissioner Khan,
Yes.
and Chair Henderson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Well,
Greg can come home
it's
now.
a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff moving. So, to be moved. So, real quick, there will be, during the construction, we won't notice any lack of flow. We won't. Okay. 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 Well, just. Thank you. All right. Item number 7, Community and Developer Director's Report.
Good evening, Chair, Commissioners. Just a couple of announcements. If you don't know, Wednesday, June 12th, will be our annual Dodger Day, where the city will utilize G-Trans to ferry residents and some employees. And of course, if you're interested, let us know. To the Dodger game. I don't think there's any special night, but go Angels. And June 5th is the Community Budget Forum. And that's where the first time we'll present the new 2-year budget coming up, and that'll be over at the Nakaoka Center. And everyone's invited. That is it.
All right, thank you. Number 8, Planning Environmental Quality Commission report.
A couple of weeks or a month ago, I brought up the problem with people not stopping at the stop sign on 170th Street and Raymond Place, right in front of the police firing range by the park. And I was walking my dog, and tenants that lived there right at that intersection were still complaining that the cars do not stop. And so they were asking me, is the city going to take care of it, do anything about it? Because we got kids coming down on skateboards, and they see the stop signs on the other side, but they don't stop. They go straight to the park. And it kind of looks like an accident waiting to happen. And
You said on 170th and Raymond Avenue?
Raymond Place.
Raymond Place?
Yeah, right in front of the shooting range. The only time people stop is when the police are there at the shooting range because they see the police cars, and then they'll stop. But they just use that from Normandy to Vermont like a speedway to get to the other side. About, I would say 80%, 85% of the cars, they just don't stop.
I live 2 blocks from that, and it's a raceway because you don't have to go down Artesia Boulevard.
Yeah.
And so you go Normandy to Vermont and you catch the freeway because you don't have to go Artesia, which has 4 lights between Normandy and Vermont.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and refer this to Public Works or PD, or we're not sure who handles these, but the reporting time now is for anything regarding your planning commission. But this is a normal request that we'll just go ahead and forward to PD or Public Works.
Yeah, because what I was recommending, like maybe we put a blinking red light that will alert people, stop, or either a speed bumps, whatever. Because I know on 166th Street between Normandy and Western, there is a blinking red light by the stop sign there, and it works.
Yeah, so we can't really discuss this. This isn't on the agenda, but again, we'll just forward it to PD or Public Works. So,
Langley, no report.
Sherman, no report.
I was actually hoping that the Dodger Day, we're going to send the staff to Yankee Stadium to watch the Dodgers play the Yankees June 2nd. So that would be my request. But other than that, no report. Wow, that was quick.
This time I have no report.
Meeting adjourned. It is 7:40. Thank you all.